Hey everyone, welcome to the channel. My name is Chess and welcome back to Racer or Random SCP Review. Today we'll actually continue our reviewing of any SCP, and I guess to start we can just generate the number first, and I will count down and stop. And 3, 2, 1 and stop. Okay, it's SCP-1041. Okay, kind of nice because it is an old SCP. At least like at this point, SCP-1041 is probably like somewhat or sometime, I don't know, like maybe more than 7 years ago. So it's already old, right? Like old. I mean, like maybe few years from now it's already like probably 10 years or something like that. But anyway, I will be right back. Okay, here we are in the SCP wiki. SCP-1041 is a part of SCP series 2. Series 2 means that it was created in the realm or in the catalog of SCP-1001 until SCP 2000, I think. Yeah, right? No, actually SCP 1000 until 1999 for series 2. Okay, so I think I kind of messed up about that as well in the previously, and for that I apologize for that. I was kind of unsure, right? Because I thought that SCP, series 1, like it's like Millennium 1, right? The first Millennium will be year 0 until 1000, right? Well, actually, now that I think about it, maybe it is right, actually. Oh, I was wrong. Okay, so never mind. Um, so the year 2000, actually, again, um, okay, so when we're talking about year, it obviously starts at 0, right? So because this is SCP, there is no SCP-0, therefore it starts at 1. And it just makes sense that, the first 1000 will be SCP-1 until 1000, right? And then the next one will be 1001 until... Wait, actually, never mind again. Here it starts from 1000 to 1090. Actually, never mind. I'm just kind of confused myself, but whatever. Basically, it is in series 2, and that's about it, I guess. So yeah, I kind of confused myself there, but all right. SCP-1041, multiple past disorder. What is this? Disorder. It means like some kind of disease or illness, probably, and then multiple past disorder. Multiple, so more than one past. Probably it is something that happened in the past, therefore like a part of history. But let's actually take a guess first. Was there anything back then, like since before 2014 or 15, that are disorders or disease that we actually remember in the past as well? Wait, actually, let me kind of remember first. I don't think there is anything, like big, as in, like pandemic, right? The pandemic in 2020, that's big. But let's take a look. Let's kind of remember if there is something similar happening since the year 2000, right? Between year 2000 until 2014. I mean, there is actually. Do you guys remember the avian flu? It was quite popular, right? Not really popular, but more like it's quite spreading, right? The movie about the what is it called again? The monkey or Planet of the Apes. I think that also like kinda based on the avian flu, right? But it was chimpanzee flu or something like that, or Samian, Siam. I don't know what was it called, right? But yeah, it's like flu, right? So maybe it is that. But anyway, I guess we can just read it again. Oh, actually, never mind. My internet just um turn, I don't have connection apparently. Let's actually reload. Also, yeah, it's just better to just read, right? Anyway, I don't see any picture over here. Also, there doesn't appear, yeah, okay, it's only a short SCP, just like your casual old SCP, right? Where it is just simple and short, right? Make it simple and short, but also has something interesting in it, right? Okay, so anyway, let's actually take a look. There is no picture here, so use your own imagination. I will try to describe it myself as well, maybe, right? um, okay, anyway, SCP-1041, or it was called multiple past disorder, item SCP-1041. Object class Euclid Alterius. I don't know what Alterius means, but it's Euclid. Alterius is probably from the word alter. Alter means alternate or alternative or something changing, right? Um, Probably it is like it's Euclid, but it can sometimes go, like change to safe. Sometimes it changed to Keter or something like that. I don't know, right? Uh, Probably that's what I guess anyway. Or it's either that or alter as in shape shifting, so that it can transform itself into something else. But I don't think so. I think it's the first one that I guessed, which was about it sometimes it's Euclid, sometimes it's safe, sometimes it's Keter or something like that. But anyway, the special containment procedures. SCP-1041 is kept in a Type 2 humanoid containment cell at Site 17 and provided rations as per dietary outline AH, AH8, AHF4. Okay, so what's that? I'm not entirely sure, but apparently type 2 humanoid containment cell, so probably it's some humanoid. I don't think it's like, so apparently it is a humanoid then. Oh, okay. Certain identities of 1041 require special consideration. See document 1041-5C for further information. Okay, so why? Okay, first, why is it 5C? Why not um 1A, right? What about 1A, 1B, and then 2A, 2B, 3A, 3B, 4A, 4B, 4C, and then 5A, 5B? Why was it 5C, right? Any documentation of 1041's life prior to its recovery must be confiscated, with all non-personnel who claim to have known 1041 given amnestic C-1041 in order to remove any and all memories of the subject. When appropriate, false documentation and or memories are to be fabricated and provided. Efforts to obtain further evidence of the narratives outlined in document 1041-5A are in progress. Okay, so here the document is 5A, but here there is document 5C. Okay, so apparently there's multiple document, right? As to why it is dash 5, I'm not entirely sure. Maybe it's will be there will be something after this probably. Description: 1041 is a human female 56 years of age that displays no anomalous physical properties. Recovered on July 3rd, 2012. Okay, so it was the time of 2012, which was, like the same as what I predicted, right? Anything that, SCP 1,000 something, it's always, old, right? Like almost 10 years ago at this point, right? It can be like around 2012. I think there is some as well that's about 2013 or 14, but I might be wrong, right? But like anyway, it's not older than 2014 or 2015. That's what I'm sure at least. Anyway, so apparently it is a human and it's a female. So it's 56 years. I guess you can call it like a woman instead of female, or a lady. I don't know, right? Quite age there, 56. Like 60 is, here in my country, 60 is already like, you call it a grandmother basically, right? So yeah. Um, Anyway, the subject is in good physical health apart from the lack of a left thumb. Okay, so either disabled or something happened, right? Like accident or something like that, possible, right? At time of writing, 119 narratives of 1041's life, supported by reliable documentation and witness testimony, have been compiled. 35 further narratives most likely exist, but currently lack reliable documentation. This is considered the primary anomalous property of 1041. Considered the primary anomalous. Okay, so these narratives are often contradictory. For example, narrative 19 involved 1041 attending classes at Harvard University in 1977. So that was about 23 plus 12. So that's 33 years ago, which is about 23 years when she was in Harvard. Okay, that's quite normal age, I would say. Because I also went into university at around 18, so 23 was actually no 19, right? So yeah, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. I guess it's still in the range of university students, I guess. While narrative 44 places for 1041 in Vladimir Central Prison at the same time, all account for 1041's lack of a left thumb. Okay, so basically from this paragraph alone, it's quite interesting in the sense that apparently 1041's probably she kinda like what is it, like broadcasted, I guess, what she thought into the person she's talking with, so that she becomes, like, so that she became trustworthy, or like everything that she said is the truth, right? Therefore, people may like, like maybe she kind of didn't want herself or identity to get exposed. Therefore, she kind of mixed, the information, right, to the people, knowing that she will always be trusted. Therefore, that's why there is this contradictory, right? Because, all these people that uh, give the testimony or witness, or, like give the narrative or documentation, basically they were like given the false information, right, by 1041. So I guess there was no correct narratives. However, in those like all different narratives, there's always one similar thing, which was her having no left thumb, right? So it's kind of interesting as well, because sometimes maybe you want to say something, like you have to also, see from 1041's perspective as well, right? Like you want to tell story that are not true about yourself, but somehow you missed a part in which you describe yourself, right? With having a certain body parts that are not perfect, right, or incomplete. In this case, the left thumb. So what does that mean? There's something. Well, if you ask me, I think, well, I'm not sure, but one thing for sure, because all of the iterations said that she didn't have left thumb. Therefore, I guess at least we know a fact, right? One actual fact that is not a lie, right? Which is her losing her left thumb. Well, obviously, because we all can see, right? Like left thumb is something that can be seen. Um, Maybe she kind of explained how she lost the thumb differently to each person, but still, right? Yeah, that's also a possibility as well. Anyway, 1041 will adopt an identity, set of memories, and personality consistent with one narrative per waking period. Waking period, okay, so there's a footnote over there. We have to take a look at that. Will adopt an identity, set of memories, and personality consistent with one narrative per waking period. Okay, so I guess from this sentence or clause, she didn't do it intentionally then, because it's per waking period, right? She adopted an identity. It's either she adopted the identity intentionally, or she was given, like she kind of basically showed up uh, in her mind, right? So she was like um, becoming a different person each time, right? Also, it's quite interesting as well because apparently there was a movie, right? It was Split, but that was 2017. So this was prior to that. So 5 years earlier. I don't think it's a reference for that then. So let me think again. Is there any movie reference or something that includes multiple personality of a character? I don't think so. I quite don't remember any. Maybe there was some. Wait, let's. I would remember. Okay, so first, um, 2012 was movies about like Hunger Games, right? Which was quite popular back then. Well, that was actually 2019, but whatever, right? I mean, not 2019, but to 2009. Not 2009. Yeah, I think yeah, 2011 thing, right? And then before that, what movie was quite popular? I think Transformers was kind of popping off during that period of time. Like the alien based thing, but I don't see any personality change. Okay, I'm just trying to kind of predict or guess what was the inspiration or the reference behind this SCP basically. If I can see any, but I don't think so, but alright. And will deny any knowledge or personal history inconsistent with this identity. Deny any knowledge or personal history inconsistent with this identity. Uh, Okay, so she didn't intentionally change her identity. She just, every time she woke up, she was someone else, right? All right. Oh, actually, there's also another movie, but it was quite recent as well, in which the person woke up in different human body, basically. Um, I forgot what movie was it was called, but it was quite recent as well. By recent, I mean sometime between 2015 to 2020. Like, like basically, yeah, I remember that because I was in my university. So basically, there's a movie about a person that wakes up in different body every time they wake up every day. So there's that. Um, okay, so anyway, okay, SCP-1041 goes through 153 identities in sequence. Okay, that's a keyword over there. Each of which corresponds with one of the aforementioned narratives before returning to the first identity. Okay, so 153. Okay, so it was true. Basically, it is a person has having multiple identities. So what is it called again? Double identity disorder or something like that. I don't know. Like basically, yeah, like the movie Split, right? But that was only 17, so this was 153, which was quite interesting. Yeah, like I'm trying to take a guess again. What is it from? 153. Is there anything like that back then? Um, I mean, I know some cartoon that has this kind of thing where like basically, let's say Yu-Gi-Oh, right? The Yami Yugi and then the Yugi Muto, they kind of switch in personality, right? And then there is this cartoon, I guess, Danny Phantom, if you remember that. That's also like altering personality, right? But I don't know about 153. Anyway, yeah, before returning to the first identity, right? So basically, it was yeah, like a person with multiple identity. Basically, these identities are labeled 1041 001. The identity presented on the date of recovery. Okay, so they named the first one they encounter the first time as one, and then until 1041-153. Evidence indicates that 1041 did not display this behavior prior to recovery. Evidence indicates that did not display this behavior prior to recovery. Okay, so that's interesting as well. It means that before the recovery or getting like secured by the SCP Foundation, I think She kind of didn't change personality then, did not display this behavior, right? So yeah, I don't know what happened with the recovery. Also, why did she get recovered in the first place, right? Like, like how did they know that she was an SCP candidate, right? But all right. One or both 1041's parents or caretakers have been located in 99 instances. All gave reports mostly consistent with 1041's memories of its childhood, including, when applicable, its birth on March 8th, 57. Okay, so 57, 43 plus 12, that is 55. Okay, so um, wait, 43 plus uh, 43 plus 12, that is 55. But it was on July and it was on March. Okay, so I kind of see actually, yeah. Okay, so 57 plus 43. Well, obviously that's 2000, right? 43 plus 12. That's only 55. So, um, but it was only recovered back then. Okay, so maybe this was already 2013, because I was thinking that, like I like to match things up. So this was 8 March, right? So this was July. Technically speaking, she was only 55, right? Um, but it was not the age when she was recovered. So basically, probably this is in 2013, right? But it's just mentioned that it got recovered in 2012. Okay, so the time of this is 2013 then, because here it says is human female 56 years, right? So at that time, it means that it was 2013, because 56 years from that is 57, which then will match this birthday over here. Anyway, at approximately 9:33 GMT. Oh, that's interesting as well, because it used the clock of GMT. So I would say that this person lived on either Europe or Asian, because um, these two continents mostly they will use GMT as their base time. And like different from when you're in America, you use PST, right? Like either UTC or PST. Yeah, like basically, or PDT, right? It's basically the same thing. And this is GMT, which is Greenwich Mean Time, and it's also only GMT, not GMT plus something or minus something. It means it is actually on Europe. So okay, wait a second. I just drink. Okay. Parental testing has located 98 women and 84 men that are genetic matches for 1041's parents. None of these individuals are genetically related to each other. The probability that each couple would produce an offspring identical to that of all the other couples by chance is infinitesimal. So that's almost impossible, basically, right? Uh, Okay, so 98 women, 84 men. Okay, similar number, almost. Genetic matches for 41's parents. Okay, so basically, 99 instances. Okay, so I guess 1041's like they, you know, test tested DNA, right? Just to see if there is um person or people that are kind of related to this female over here, right? Just to know the like the true origin, right? But they found some the genetics that are matching, but none of those, like if combined, will ever make an offspring of her. So that would be like impossible to happen, right? But yeah, okay, that's quite interesting as well. It means that she was not, I would say this, she was not really human. It's either she was um, like when you think about uh, like a biologically created human. By that I mean like from lab, right? Like in as in experiment, right? So I wonder if that's the case because because if you experiment on lab, you can basically just put DNA from something else and then from from something else from other, and then you combine that, right? And in this case, you just imagine that you actually created a human, right? So you have like some DNA from different people, right? That's why it is like hit like this potentially. So yeah. Anyway, addendum. Oh, also it's already been almost 30 minutes already. I need to actually hurry up. Okay, so it's only this table. Addendum. The following identities of 1041 are considered notable. To view the remainder, see document 1041 dash 5A. Oh, there's also more than that. Okay, but there is no hyperlink to give that, but all right. In instance designation, okay, notable aspects. Oh, okay, so this is the personality, right? uh like identity number 14 and 15. Subjects were believed to be monozygotic twins. Oh, okay. However, testing of recovered DNA samples has shown an absence of copy number variations that are normally found in monozygotic twins. Both have refused to believe that the other is another identity of 1041, although neither has been able to explain why. Both 14 and 15 lost their left thumb in unrelated incidents on August 18, 1994. Oh yeah, okay. So I was right in some points. The first being um, her left thumb is always missing, and that's like a similarity, right? However, here the incidents it's specific, right? The left thumb in unrelated incidents, right? So basically 14 and 15 they said something about losing thumbs on August 18, 1994, but that was from unrelated incidents, right? So maybe like one from um I don't know, got bit by something, or I don't know, like let's say got bit by or like got scratched by a cat, right, or a feral cat, and then it had to be amputated, right? That's the first probably. And then the second, let's say that she was doing a little bit of house fixing, and then she accidentally touched or cut herself with a what is it called, corroded nails or something like that. So it caused infection, right, like tetanus basically. So she need to get amputated as well. Maybe that's the case here because it says unrelated incidents, right? So yeah, like I said as well in the beginning, the left thumb missing might be always the same. However, the story behind that might probably be different from each individuals, right? Okay, so it's also interesting as well because 14 and 15 um, consider themselves as twins, right? So yeah, that's also interesting. 19, okay, identity 19 lost both legs in a car crash in 1966. Okay, for the duration of 41's adoption of this identity, it will not move either leg. Oh, okay. So yeah, despite being physically capable of doing so, even under duress, insufficient time has passed since 41's recovery to determine whether therapy can reverse this condition. Okay, so it's interesting as well because it's already like 34 plus 12, so it was 46 years ago, right? So it was basically like when she was 10, right? So she was 10 in a car crash. Possibly, just imagine a little girl. She played on in a park, and then she, like maybe she chased a ball that rolled to the road, and at the same time there's a car, right, drive with like fastly or drive fast basically, and she got hit, right? And she got hit on her on her legs, and it needs to get amputated. And since then, right? But yeah, also I don't think therapy could work anyway because I don't think that's how you fix an amputated part of body. You don't just therapy and then make you know make movement, right? Especially when the legs are already gone, right? Maybe I think when you got amputated as well, your nerve, correct me if I'm wrong, but your nerve that connects to that body part also got disconnected as well. Therefore, there is, I would say, no way that even if you use actual leg, you can actually move that. But I might be wrong, right? Maybe it can, but by certain motion, right? But not by your like nervous system basically. Also, I might be wrong, so I don't know. That's just what I think, right? Next will be 67. Subject was a high-ranking member of the crime syndicate from 88 to 97. Okay, that's 9 years. Okay, so basically, she was a criminal then. Investigations indicate that 67 redirected a significant portion of the thing's resources towards destroying apparently unrelated records held by various government agencies and academic institutions. 61 has experienced retrograde and anterograde amnesia after an apparent assassination attempt in 2011, hindering further investigation. Okay, so from this paragraph, I think the author kind of want to include a reference, right, from past like crimes, but I couldn't remember any about during this time, um, and then this time as well, right? Because I'm Asian, so I don't remember anything. Well, not that I don't remember anything, but more like I don't know anything that happened, let's say in Europe, right, during this period of time. Maybe there is something, a big crime, right? That's why it got censored with, I think it is about 12 letters or 13 letters. So, yeah, like think about any specific crime that has 13 or 12 letters in it. But alright, 81. 81 was employed by the Chaos Insurgency for 14 years. While the subject's exact responsibilities that there are not known to the Foundation, the subject's educational background is most suitable for employment as theoretical physicist. Okay, so it's Chaos Insurgency. Actually, it's quite interesting because this is the third video in recent um, that actually mentioned the term Chaos Insurgency, right? Uh, Previously, we actually mentioned the name Chaos Insurgency, and the other one it was me guessing what it was, right? Which was Chaos Insurgency. So it's kind of interesting as well. So chaos insurgency is basically a group of people that are not, like anti SCP Foundation. Basically, um, they didn't like what the Foundation do to the SCPs, and they kind of try to rescue, quote unquote, rescue them. Like so that they don't get enslaved or weaponized or something like that. But I'm not entirely sure as well. How or where did they want to bring those SCPs as well, right? But yeah, it's interesting as well because one of her identity apparently was a person in Chaos Insurgency, right? So that must have been an interesting interview if there is one. But anyway, next will be 127 claims to possess psychic powers, supposedly allowing the subject to communicate with her past selves. Testing has shown that the subject may possess a limited ability to access information possessed by other identities of 41. Limited ability to access information possessed. Oh, so 127 is basically um, the main key, I would say, the main person that knows everyone else, right? Which is interesting. Investigation indicates that 127 may have possessed these abilities since adulthood. Okay, so all right. Okay, that's interesting because 127 is basically the one that you will want to go for, right? Because talking with 127, basically you're talking to other identity as well, right? Because she know what's the other identities are about, right? Which is over here. Limited ability access information by other identity, right? So yeah, basically she can, like um if I have to take, if I have to describe, let's say this as Professor X, right? Because he can read someone else's mind, right? So here I think it's kind of the same, that she can actually know other identities, know other identities, identity, right? But yeah, and then 154, which was the wait, wasn't that only 153? Uh, yeah, there was only 153. Um, okay, dash 1 to 153. But what about here? This is 154. Okay. A subject was determined to have died on January 99 from lung cancer and is not among the identities displayed by 41. Police records show that 41 154's body was stolen from its grave on July 15, 2012 and has not been located. Okay, that's interesting. Determined to have died on January 2nd. Okay, but who said this though? I think what happened was that 127 potentially she kind of described that. Oh no, you guys were wrong. There was not only 153. There is actually another one, 154. But however, she was already dead, right? That's why you guys didn't see her. Maybe 127 said that because it's quite interesting because like here, right? From lung cancer, like obviously if you're dead, you will not be able to say anything, right? So yeah, also like over here, among identities displayed by 41, right? Yeah, because it's already dead. And then the police records show 54's body was stolen from its grave in on July 15, 2012, and has not been located. um Oh, that's also interesting as well. I have a theory about this. This is July 15, 2012, right? Take a look at this. Remember this date over here, and then I will scroll up here, and here, July 3rd, 2012. That is basically only 12 days since he was recovered, right? Which is quite interesting as well, yeah, like it's basically 12 days after that. Um, but I I still not sure about that. Yeah. Anyway, let's take a look at the footnotes first. Testing has shown that any period of unconsciousness or altered state of consciousness lasting at least 1 hour will cause 1041 to adopt a new identity. Any period of altered state consciousness lasting at least 1 hour. Um, okay, so basically, when she was left unconscious, and then at least 1 hour, she will then change identity to the next person, right? Uh, okay, so that's quite interesting as well. Also, it's quite interesting that she actually changed in order, right? In sequence, not like usually, like let's say Split, right? The movie Split. When you move, when you change to another character, you actually change randomly, right? You can change back to one, and then after that you change to identity 17, and then you change to identity 6, and then after that you can go back to one again, right? um, without having to cycle every single one of them, right? So it's quite interesting as well over here. Maybe it's for like easier to, I guess, easier for everyone, I guess. The author kind of just make it simple, right? It rotates in a cycle, not randomly, but all right. Two, the subject will demonstrate incorrect knowledge of events since its containment. In its case, it will recall its reactions to events as though it had possessed its current personality. All right. So yeah. Okay. Okay. Theory time. What I think about this SCP? What happened? Right. I was about to say that there's interesting with between this one. Um, if the if the time was swapped, I think what interesting was that July 15 was the day she was recovered, right? And then the July 3rd was the one she was graved, right? She was out of her grave basically. So if that's the case, which is apparently not here, um, I think it will be interesting because I think what happened was that she died, right? And then at July 3rd, somehow there is someone that, or herself kind of got resurrected, right? Maybe she changed to another personality, and then, she was kind of wonder why she was buried, right? And then she tried to go out, right? And then after that, 12 days later, she got recovered by the foundation, right? But that's not the case because this was after the fact that she was recovered, right? So basically, the identity got, basically got removed from the grave when she was after recovered, right? So yeah, there you go. Um, but that's not the case, right? Because the date didn't match up to what I was guessing, right? But all right. Okay, so theory again. I think what happened is that she collected, I would say, like, um, I don't know, like, like sometimes when you die your soul will go to something somewhere, right? Like in the afterlife, right? But there's also some belief that, if you didn't do great, then, your soul will wander around, right? I wonder if this person, SCP-1041, actually collected all this identity, right? And so far it collected 154, but the 154 already dead, right? So yeah, there's that. Also, if that's the case, then every one of them will basically already dead, right? So, like 54, then since it's already dead, and then it died again, I think what happened was that the person probably kinda got ascended, probably like the person already, freed from this world, right? But that's just my rogue theory. I don't know if this is the case as well. But this is interesting because it's the SCP that basically describes multiple personality, right? Which is quite interesting because I didn't, I couldn't come up with a reference of someone changing identity like 153 times. Um, like back during, before 2013, right? If this was like made, recently, then oh, I know this refers to the movie Split, right? Because there the James McAvoy character, he got multiple personality, right? So maybe that's the case, but apparently not. This was, like way back before that. This is basically almost 10 years ago, so there's that. Yeah, like I couldn't have any reference for this. Therefore, I would say that this is probably one of the original one. Well, obviously there is already a lot of movie probably, right, that has multiple personnel, like I said, like Danny Phantom, the cartoon, and then there's also, I kind of mentioned as well, but I kind of forgot. The Yami Yuki, right? The Yuki-Oh, basically, which is also cartoon as well. But in those examples, the person only had like two, right? But this only had, this one have like 153 times or even more, right? 154. So that's interesting because it is a lot of identity, right? And yeah, as for why the person who witnessed this had to be given amnestic, I'm not entirely sure, right? Yeah, I don't know why. Like, is it dangerous or something like that? Also, Alterius, it means okay. So I know now. The Alterius means it changed. Yeah, it basically changed to something, right? So in this case, it changed identity, right? So it was not shape shifting. It was also not Euclid into safe, Euclid into Keter or something like that. It's just literally altering its personality, right? So all right, there's that. Um, yeah, still not sure why they people who record documentation or people who like witness like giving witness and testimony, they need to given they need to be given the amnestics. I'm not entirely sure why. Why is her why are her identities classified as confidential, right? And that not people should remember this, right? Maybe it's for her own safety, maybe that's like interesting as well, right? Because over here we know that she was also a crime syndicate, right? A member of a crime, so she was basically criminal. I think it's best to make the person forget so that she for that so that the person didn't actually make other people convinced that she was a criminal, right? And then she got targeted, and then she probably got executed, right? Which obviously the SCP Foundation doesn't want, right? The foundation wanted to protect her. That's why probably it's best to make people who know her to get amnestics, right? So that they didn't just leak about her identities, right? Because maybe one or more of her identities were considered harmful or dangerous, and then that the people who give witness testimony, they could do something harmful to her, right? Like maybe killing them, and that will be a shame, right? Because the job of foundation is to secure and protect, right? So yeah, overall I enjoy this. It's already been 50 minutes as well, almost an hour. Yeah, I I don't know. I just wanted to limit this into like 30 minutes, but I like talking and discussing. Therefore, that's why I just didn't stop, right? Also, I thought that this was supposed to be like short one, but apparently not. Well, it was short, but I discussed a lot. Therefore, it got extended, right? Like longer than it's supposed to be. But it's fine. I'm still enjoying. I because enjoying too. Basically, this SCP is a person with multiple identity, which is actually interesting. I can relate to her as well, and so I believe other people as well, right? Who kind of feel the same, right? That there are more than one person inside their body, right? And they can't really explain. Like people probably say that, oh, that's just nothing, right? They're just faking it. There's no such way as double identity, but I can actually relate to that. I'm not gonna talk about that like just yet. It will be like the discussion in the far future from now about me. But yeah, I can relate to that honestly. But yeah, it's interesting as well. It's probably also, I guess I like this one as well because I watched the movie Split, and I actually love the movie as well because yeah, like it's quite unique, right? When a person has multiple identity, right? And then that in their head there's a lot of people talking to each other, right? A person talk about this, and then the other person said otherwise, and then there, and so on and so on, right? But yeah, anyway, that'll be it for today's Racer Random SCP Review episode 13. I hope you guys enjoy it. I will see you again 5 days or 4 or 6 days from now. Basically next week, in the next episode of Racer. Stay safe, stay healthy. I will see you again very soon, and see ya.